Hello and welcome to our next module. In this module, we'll be discussing some major points regarding the ratification of the Constitution. First, the Constitution, in terms of ratification, moved away from the concept of unanimous vote to amend the government to 9 of 13. Now, some believed that this violated the Articles of Confederation, Article 13 of the Articles of Confederation, that required unanimous consent to amend or modify the government. I'm actually a part of this camp. You have to remember that the articles were still in effect at the time the Constitutional Convention was going on and during the time of the ratification. All right. Next, this was a little bit of a problem. Rhode Island never attended the convention, and New York left early. So you're starting to see some concerns coming out of the convention in terms of what would happen in ratification when one state didn't even show up and the other one kind of took its toys and went home and never came back. So again, it does speak to some of the concern and uncertainty, even back to the move to a 9 of 13, that the Constitution was not, there wasn't an overwhelming support for it. There was a large support for it, but it wasn't overwhelming. All right. Now, another thing, when it came to ratification, it was set up as an all or nothing, a yes/no vote on the entire document. There had been some talk about having some line item ratification, where each state could pick and choose what it liked and shoot down what it didn't. But they knew that would be disastrous. If it had been left up to just a line item ratification, it never would have passed. So it was okay. We are going to require all 13 of 13 to ratify the Constitution, and also it's just thumbs up, thumbs down on the entire document in and of itself. Another thing to think about is that the Constitution, as it was presented for ratification, was promoted as something special. If you remember one of our first modules, we talked about a codified constitution, a constitution that was really superior to regular legislation and things like that. And so that's what was being done here, that this was not just normal legislation that would go through a legislative body, but it was something a little bit bigger than what we would normally have. Another thing in and around this is that to ratify the Constitution, it went through special ratifying conventions. Did not go through the Congress under the Articles of Confederation or the state legislatures. Now, this kind of makes sense when you stop and think about it, because would you really want these legislative bodies to ratify something that would in effect take away their sovereignty or their authority, however you want to define it? Because the state legislatures in the Congress under the Articles would basically be ratifying them to taking a lesser role going forward with this proposed Constitution. In the middle of all of this, and especially you kind of look at these last three bullet points collectively, but lastly, it was appealing to the notion of popular sovereignty in this whole process. All right, so you're promoting really a codified constitutional system, but you're also appealing to the masses. You're not appealing to elected officials or anything like that. So it is being presented to the population in general, and that was the belief where the ultimate authority rests. All right. So with that, that's the end of this module. As always, go back, review it as needed, and with that, we'll see you in the next module.